In the previous video, we have replaced the custom raise button with the sign in button that we had created earlier. As you can see, we can now declare a sign in button, and it is quite easy to configure it with the properties that we need. And if I click through to reveal the sign in button class, then we can see how we use it to configure our custom raise button superclass. Now, there is one more thing that I'd like to configure in my custom raise button class, and that is the height of the button itself. In particular, I'd like to set the height of all the buttons that we will create on this page to 50 points. So what we are going to do next is that we modify our custom raise button class to add a height property. So let's see how we can do that. So on the build method over here, we create a raise button. However, as you can see, this does not take a height parameter. So if I try to type in height, nothing comes up. So the way we are going to approach this is to wrap our raise button inside a sized box. So let me show you how to do this. I can move my cursor to raised button, and then I'm going to press Alt Enter, and out of the list of options here, I can choose wrap with new widget. This is a very useful command because my raised button has now been made the child of a widget that I had to specify. So here I'm going to type in sized box like this, and now I can go and add a height parameter. So for now, let's add that like this and hard code a value of 50 points. If I hot reload, then I can see that the changes take effect. So this is great progress. The next thing that I want to do is to make sure that this height is configurable, so that if other widgets on my code use a custom raised button, then they are able to specify a custom height. Well, we have already seen that to do that, we can add another property to our class and make it configurable via the constructor, just in the same way that we have done here for our border radius. So I'm going to add a new final double height like this. Then on the constructor, I'm going to call this the height, so that this is a parameter that can be passed in. And also I want to provide a default value. So in this case, it's going to be 50. This is so that if the code that calls this constructor doesn't specify a height, then a value of 50 will be chosen. And then of course, I need to remember to use this height and put it down here like this. Okay, so now that the height can be configured on the custom raise button, I could go back to the sign in button, and here I could add it as a property, for example, with a value of 40. And if I hot reload, I could see that the button height updates. And if I really wanted to take this further, I could also make the height a configurable property of the sign in button class itself, so that I could specify the height from my sign-in page. But as I said before, I want all sign-in buttons on this page to have the same height. So for now, I'm just happy to leave the default value that I set in custom raise button. So in summary, it is really up to us to choose what properties are configurable and whether we expose them to our calling code or not. Alright, so we have now completed the customization of our button classes, and we can continue on the next video.